Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Welcome to a new DC live stream. I'm your host, Matt Batiri, here with you today to do some Bitcoin technical analysis. So, hope you have got a nice cold drink ready, you're nice and comfortable, and you're ready to look at some candlesticks. So, Bitcoin. Doing Bitcoin things. On the weekly scale, we can see that we've got this downtrend from the all-time high posted on the 8th of November 2021, and we have actually broken out from this downtrend line. Now, previous bull runs, previous bear markets where Bitcoin has broken out from this trend line, because in the last 3 bull runs, this exact thing has occurred, which is called a bump and run pattern. We have broken up to the upside for a bear market relief rally to the upside, and we've hit the 618 in the last bull market. So if we were to draw a Fibonacci retracement from high to low, that would mean that there is always a possibility that Bitcoin does move up to about $50,000 over the next few months before a secondary pullback. And then we start, obviously, the exponential bull market. So let's dive into the metrics of some of the other indicators that I like to look at on a weekly scale. So on market cipher B, we can see that the red wave money flow has made a deeper wave. So we can see that if I was to draw a horizontal line from the previous low, we were actually now below that low. So that gives me some bearish feels about the price action, even though we've sort of been a little bit sideways. I still think that we're going to go down before we go up, but like I said, all signals are very mixed at the moment. All I know is that there is a big move incoming. The Stochastic Rsi is once again crossed over into the bearish formation. That's when the orange moving average crosses over the blue moving average. That usually signals some sell action. The MACD, on the other hand, though, has printed once again a nice green histogram bar, which usually means a continuation to the upside. Now, this right here, even though that's concerning, it doesn't mean that we can't move up or continue to the upside. You can see that we are not really in the overbought territory. Normally when we're overbought, we're in the 80 plus percentile or above. And right now we've been below that 80th percentile. We can see that we can spend a fair bit of time above that overbought territory. And you can even see back here, things can even go on for quite some time. But right now, all I'm seeing is, it still doesn't look good. And the macroeconomic factors about, the US jobs and so forth probably is going to add a little bit more pressure to the market. If I throw on some moving averages, exponential moving averages, we can kind of see that we are still below the 20 EMA. Usually Bitcoin, when it's above the 20 EMA, signals that we're back in sort of bull mode. But as you can see, this green moving average, we're still well below it. And it's going to be a point of resistance in the future when we do move to the upside. But until then, we are still in a bear market. If I zoom into the daily, we can see that the money flow, like I said, on the weekly is starting to push more to the downside once again. So that still leaves me to be more bearish than sort of bullish. The Stochastic Rsi looks like it wants to start creating a curve bottom. So we might just still see some more sideways action for a little while, unless we just deep dive over the next couple of days. Now, if I was to say we're going to get a movement, we normally get movements on Wednesday or Thursday, Australia time, which is usually Tuesday or Wednesday in the US. And that is the biggest market. And they're the ones that tend to move the price a little bit more than the Asian market, the London market, and any other market that you might know of. So right now, not very good that we're in the red money flow. We're still sort of going sideways, even though we broke that trend line that I did speak about, and it looks like we have sort of bounced off it. Things still don't look fantastic. So on the daily scale, if I throw on a fixed volume range indicator, and we map out the traded volume of Bitcoin in this entire sideways range ever since the 14th of June 2022, which is coming up to June, July, August, September, October, November, October. So about 4 months. Being 4 months in this sort of sideways channel, we can see that we have the value area high of the range now is at about $22,000. We have a high volume node at 21,400. A high volume node basically means that we had a lot of Bitcoin traded there. So right here at this price range, we had a lot of Bitcoin traded at this price range, which is the point of control of this entire sideways range, which is at 19,985, and down here at 19,400, where we basically are presently. So right now, because we are in between the point of control and the high value node, the high value node of 19,300 will support us until it doesn't, and we obviously slice through. The point of control will be resistance whilst it's above us, and the high volume node up here will also be resistance when we move to the upside. Another key factor is also low volume areas right here in the center. So anywhere between sort of 20,500 and 20,800 is also can act as a bit of resistance. All right, looks like I've got a couple of comments. I'm going to quickly just check it out. Hi, I am Paris. G'day, Paris. Nice to meet you. Helen, speak English, please. Yep. If there's anything that I say that doesn't make sense or you don't know of, like a certain word, like high volume node, for example, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to explain it into a little bit more detail, because some of this stuff, yeah, can be way above your head and you've never heard the terminology before. So because I like to teach you guys as much as possible, feel free to, if you hear any acronyms or any words that you're not familiar with, feel free to just pop them into the chat. Now I'm going to move this fixed range profile just to the lowest wick where we had the capitulation down to 17,600, just because sometimes we can get some skewed values on the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control. But I can see that everything is pretty much very close to where we had it when I had my cursor on this right here. So right now, what I'm sort of looking and hoping for is basically just more sideways. Sideways just builds stability in the price. Also, creates a stronger floor, especially later on when we move to the upside. This base right here around 18,700 and 20,000 will be acting as strong support if we move to the upside. If we move to the downside, it'll act as strong resistance as well when we come back up. But more so for the future, this is really good stability. This means that, it's giving me even more strength that 20,000 is a really good price point for Bitcoin right now, because we've stayed at this price range for so long. So the dollar cost averaging is definitely a good thing to be doing right now. I mean, that's not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing. And you might be thinking, okay, well, Matt, if you think we're going to go lower, why are you buying now? Well, the thing is, I don't know where the price is going. I can speculate using indicators where I do believe it's going. But because I know that we are closer to the end of the bear market than the beginning, now is just a fantastic time. Anytime Bitcoin is under $20,000, it's kind of a steal, because the previous bull run all-time high was 20K. So anything below that is what I think is a great opportunity to, I think that Bitcoin, in the next bull run, it's obviously going to go above 70,000, which was the previous all-time high. So if you buy now, any Bitcoin, you're guaranteeing yourself at least, 2.5x, 3.5x. So 3.5x your money from right here. There's no real asset anywhere else that you could invest in that over the course of the next 4 years, you're going to get a 3.5x return on your investment. So if you are not, for example, in any of our programs, the 1K Day Club, the Millionaire Club, or the Billionaire Club, where you can exponentially, outperform just buying and holding Bitcoin at 3.5x, we're looking at our portfolio doing 10 to 50x, because we diversify into high risk assets in either DeFi or altcoins to outperform Bitcoin's return on investment. because cycle after cycle, a bull cycle after bull cycle, the returns on Bitcoin diminish because the price goes up a lot higher. So therefore, it takes more volume to, get a 10x or a 20x and so forth. But you can get those dimes in the altcoins, and then I take the profit from the altcoins and then put them back into the most stable asset, which is Bitcoin. Alrighty, so hello, we have someone from Korea. Amazing to see you, and welcome. If this is your first time, I do believe it's your first time because I've never seen you on our live stream before. Alrighty, so we've talked about the daily. We're still in the red money flow. We want to see this red money flow curve to the upside. The funny thing is, right, on the daily, we're still in very heavy red money flow. But if I go to the 2-day time frame, we can see that the money flow is about to cross into the green, which is very bullish, right? Which is very bullish. But unfortunately, it's the only time frame where we are about to cross into the green. The 3-day, we are still in deep red. The 5-day, we are still in deep red. The weekly, we are in deep red. So yeah, there's an outlier on the 2-day. So could the 2-day be giving us some hints of the price going to the upside and everything else is just lagging a little bit? Possibly, but I don't think so. Usually, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 5 major time zones telling you that you're continuously going to be pushing down, you kind of got to go with the majority. This is the problem sometimes when you're using a lot of indicators. A lot of indicators may be giving you different information. So you kind of got to make sure that when you get a signal from an indicator, you want to jot down the direction that you believe the signal is telling you where the price action is going to go. And then, take some statistical data in regards to how accurate that signal has been each time that it's flashed. So right now, the stochastic RSI is pointing to the downside, which means a little bit more downward action. If I do throw on, let's just throw on the Bollinger Band width percentile, this indicator tells us that when the volatility line, which is the very colored line, is to the downside, we're anticipating expansion. Expansion is when these lines move to the upside. And expansion, full expansion, is showcased on this indicator when we've got red bars. And that just means we've had a huge move. So you can see when we had this drop from 31,000 to 17,000, the volatility indicator moved to the upside. And once it hit its apex of 17,600, then we started forming these red candles. And now it's time for price to consolidate. So then price sort of zigzags sideways for a long period of time till it reaches the bottom once again. And then we see volatility once again. So right now, the volatility is quite low on the 2-day. So on the daily, on the 2-day, it's hit the floor. On the 3-day, it's very low. On the 3-day, also 5-day, also very low. And on the weekly, we are very low. So I am still waiting and anticipating a large move. I can't tell you where. Obviously, I'm still expecting more so to the downside, but hopefully some whales trap some people wanting to short the market and we get a swift push to the upside. If we do get a push to the upside, obviously my first target is 25,200. But I think from here where we are now, if we get a push to the upside, yes, the first resistance will be 25,000, but I do think we'll go dramatically higher than 25,000 because we've basically then created a double bottom. We've broken the downward trend line, created a bump and run, and we should move swiftly to the upside. If we go to a more local time frame, let me just remove some of these other indicators. Well, sorry, if I go back, we can see that even on the 4-hour, we're anticipating once again a nice large move because basically for the last 3 days, we've been consolidating. Let me go here. We've been consolidating from like 19,600 to 19,200. So 3 days of $400 price action, which is usually quite boring. And the Bollinger Band width percentile is at the lowest. It's looking to expand, so we're going to probably see something tonight when the US market does open. The MACD moving averages look like they want to cross to the upside, which is a good thing. That is a bullish indicator, but normally what we may see is a bit of a false signal. Let me find you a false signal. Okay, here's a false signal right here. So you can see that we had the let me get my little drawing tool. So you can see that we had histogram sort of having a bit of a rounded bottom, and then the bars, the colored bars went from red, which means we're going to continuously move to the downside, to pink. Pink usually means a bit of a bottom out, and then we tend to curve up and then cross back into the green, kind of like what we did here. But you can see here that we moved to the upside and then we got rejected. Same as these moving averages on the MACD. They curved and rounded out, but then we dropped even further. So let's look at the corresponding price action at this price point, and let's have a look at what occurred. So I'm just going to put a line here where we went from pink, thinking we were going to the upside, but we ended up collapsing. Let me just go here. All right. So here we go. Look, this is a great example. So we were at 23,400. It looked like the MACD wanted to cross over, but we then end up capitulating. Now, why I believed we were going to go down more than we were going to go up back at this point is we could see that on our market cipher, the money flow was in a very steep downturn. And this usually, the money flow indicator on market cipher B is probably one of the best indicators. And I usually sometimes just trade off the money flow going from red to green because it's really easy. Here's a good example when the red money flow went to green, right? You would have missed maybe the low at 18.4, but you would have caught a really nice push from 19,300 to 23,000. So the money flow right now on the 4-hour is in the red, and the MACD does want to cross over, but I do think we might get a false signal and have a collapse a bit like what we did back here. And you can see as well, look at the stochastic RSI at that same time. The stochastic RSI did get to the midpoint. Okay, so the 50th percentile on the stochastic and then rolled over. And where are we right here? We just broke the 50% mark and we're turning over. So could we turn over, then find support at the 50% mark and then move to the upside? Surely can. Here are a couple of times where we went to the 50% line and sort of got a bounce. Here we just got below and bounced. Here we had a bit of a fake out to the downside and then moved to the upside. Here we bounce. So we can obviously bounce from the 50% line, but looks like in the short term, looks like more downward action for Bitcoin. It could be very small. Where would my target be? Well, my first target, if we do go down, would be the value area low of this range, about 18,700. I think we'll get some support here, but what would concern me if we do go down is then we will have this trend line right here that we are going to need to break back above to be bullish, because right now we've sort of been in this very slight been in this kind of like rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. So rising wedge is a bearish pattern. So if we do break down, look for us to maybe come down to the value area low, like so, maybe come back up, test the trend line, and then obviously capitulate. Or if we break back into the trend line, we then want to find support on that trend line once again. So there's a few options of things that can happen. I know it's been really kind of boring ever since, well, the 14th of September, so nearly a month. For the last month, we've sort of been in this, very boring price range. But if you're a trader, this volatility is not too bad. Long the lows, short the highs, long the lows, short the highs, long the lows, short the highs, and so forth. But you need to be keeping an eye on the charts quite regularly. You need to understand volume. You need to make sure that you've got your support and resistance lines well drawn out. And on top of that, you also need to make sure you're using the fixed range volume profile that I did show before. But if we do a fixed range profile of where we are now, you can see that right now Bitcoin is being supported by the point of control of this entire sideways range. So that is a good thing. But if we do break below that, then it will be a bit of a short bloodbath to at least the value area low, and then maybe even more so lower. Alrighty, so I've been going for about 20 minutes. What else can I sort of cover? What's some other things, other indicators? Let's have a look at the RSI. So let's get rid of the MACD. Let's get rid of the stochastic. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so on the 4-hour, we do have some bullish divergence. So we have a higher high in price and we have a lower low in the stochastic RSI. So that's a good thing for the bulls. That's one of the it's a bullish indicator, even though this is what's called a hidden bullish divergence. So it's not as strong as a regular bullish divergence. A regular bullish divergence is where you have a lower low in price, like back here. Okay, so we made a lower low in price, but we've had a high low in the RSI right there. Okay, so that is a regular bullish divergence. Right here, this is a hidden bullish divergence where we've got a higher high in price but a lower high in the stochastic RSI. So yes, once again, conflicting data between other indicators that might be saying that we're going down, but this is where you need to collect as much information and go from there. Hash ribbons indicator, that just basically is telling us that there's more miners producing Bitcoin, so the hash rate has gone up. Right now, it's not telling me that, it's not giving me any relative information. If I put on the simple moving averages, let's remove these trend lines right here. Let's remove this right here. Let's remove that one so we get a bit of a cleaner looking chart. So let's go to the weekly first of all. So the 200 weekly, I might need to use the BLX. Okay, there we go. So the 200 period moving average is this green line right here, or this whatever color. It's aqua, I would say, or blue, and this one's like dark blue. Probably not the two best blues to look at, but basically this is the, hold on, let me just quickly double check that. The 200 is the dark blue right here, and this is the 50. So the 200 a weekly simple moving average, we are below that, so that's very bearish still. It's going to be resistance as we move to the upside, and the 50 doesn't really mean much to us right now. Let's look at what else. There's nothing really else that I like to use, but basically right now it's a bit of a standstill, and it's been a standstill for close to a month now. But like I said, these boring times give Bitcoin ample time to create stability, which is important for a floor to be created. Once people are like, well, Bitcoin's been at 19,500 or 20K for a long period of time, we're not getting any lower. Guess what happens? We get a couple of big buys, the price starts pushing to the upside, and people start FOMOing in because they know that the next bull run is occurring. So we're not that far away. We just need to see a little bit of action from where we are now. And the macroeconomic factors worldwide, the wars and so forth, that still is putting a lot of pressure on just the normal market. So if we look at the SPX, S&P 500, right, so we had a little bit of a bounce, created a bit of a swing failure pattern from back here. So we came down, got some liquidity, had a little push to the upside by, and that was good 200 points, which is quite a big jump. How big is that in a percentage? The stock market going up 6% is quite good. But now we're sort of rolling over. It didn't really do too well. We don't have any bullish divergences so what we would need here for there to be a bullish divergence in the stock market, we would need to create a lower low in price from this previous low, and we would need a higher high on the RSI, which could happen. We've got a little bit of a trend line from these 2 points here. So the RSI, if it came down to here and the price came below, we might get a push to the upside in the stock market. If the stock market goes up, Bitcoin's going to go up. If we look at the DXY, which has an inverse correlation with Bitcoin, we've been in this rising channel. It looks like it wants to continue pushing to the upside. Here's a great hidden bullish divergence, higher high in price, lower low on an RSI indicator, and we've had like this really nice bounce. If I throw on market cipher beat on this, let me go invite only, market cipher beat. We can see that the money flow on the daily, though, is starting to decrease. It looks like it wants to go down, but on the weekly, we're still in very thick red money flow, green money flow. So whilst we're in very thick green money flow, the DXY is going to continuously push to the upside. Yes, of course, it'll have some pullbacks every now and then, just like everything. When people start making money, they want smart investors start taking profits. But this is also another reason why I think that Bitcoin will continuously move to the downside until we see the DXY starting to show an apex of this this money flow right here, we need to see a bit of an apex. So we need to see a low point made on this green money flow to basically say, hey, the DXY is done. And then we can start, pushing money into the risk on assets, because we can see just from a couple of things that I look at, Apple's down, Facebook's down, Tesla's down, Nike's down, everything. I mean, everything's looking pretty bad, especially Nike. Tesla also not looking fantastic. Look, it had a huge push to the downside. It's in this kind of like triangle formation. Facebook also not looking really great. It's now at like equal lows to back here. So these companies aren't doing great. I mean, Facebook's taking a huge beating. But look, we are making some low lows in price, like so. And we are generating some higher highs on the RSI. So we're starting to form some bullish divergences. So we could be close to the end of the sell-off in the stock market as well. But like I said, we're closer to the end than we are the beginning. So that's a good thing. And this is why dollar cost averaging is not a bad choice right now. Alrighty, so I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover with Bitcoin. If there are any final questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. Tell Korea laughter in languages, please. Tell Korea laughter is languages, please. Sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Hi, Eunice. I am from Gold Coast in Australia. So hopefully one day you can come visit. It's a beautiful country here in Australia, and we have lovely beaches and everything else to go along. All right, from me, last thing, if you would like to check out some of the things that we are investing in as Breakout Solutions, you can check out the replay of our latest masterclass. We had it about 10 days ago. Head to breakoutsolutions.com.au/5 crypto megatrends replay video. The URL is just below, so I'll give you a couple of seconds to write that down or type it in. You can watch this video. These are some of the areas inside cryptocurrency that we are looking to invest in. It's also a really good educational and learning piece for you, because we all know that knowledge is power. So educate yourself on what areas of cryptocurrency are going to boom in the next bull cycle, and start doing your due diligence, do your research on tokens, coins, and projects that you feel can start making you money. And if you want some help in that, obviously you can always head down to the bottom of this page, book a session to learn more. You'll jump on a call with either myself or Wasim, and we can discuss about what you're currently doing in regards to your investments. If you need help, obviously, investing into cryptocurrency, you want to do it safely, efficiently, you want to have a nice, tight security, we can teach you all that. And also we'll be happy to share with you some of the research on tokens and coins that we feel are going to 10 to 100x, because right now we're doing a lot of research into projects, because now is the time to start investing in your favorite coins, so you can start making some good money for the next bull run. All right, guys, that is it from me. Enjoy your the rest of your day, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for the DC live stream with Wasim. So I'll see you there. Bye.